It's the Super Dungeon Brothers Super Show with Dungeon Dan and DM Steve.
2, 1.
And hello, everyone. We're
Hey, how you doing?
live. Welcome to the Super Dungeon Brothers Super Show. I am DM Steve, and this
And
is
Dungeon Dan,
welcome back.
how you how have you been doing this week?
Doing okay. A little bit busy, but
Yeah, yeah,
all right. I
cool.
watched some shows.
Yeah, I watched a show. I definitely watched a show.
Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you like this content, ring the bell for notifications, share this video, and leave a comment. Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
yeah. Mhm.
So, the first thing that we're going to talk about is House of Dragons.
Well, it's the House of the Dragon.
Is that
Was
is that what it is? That
yeah,
is.
was it so memorable to you that you don't even remember the title of it now? Is that how that goes?
I mean, is it? Was it really? Uh, now,
Ah,
now you. That true?
yeah, it's House of the Dragon. It's not House of Dragons.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It is
yeah,
House
yeah.
of the Dragon.
It's House of it's yeah,
Okay, well then, House of the Dragon,
yeah,
the Game of Thrones prequel that takes
yeah.
place 200, roughly 200 years
Something like that.
prior to the Game of Thrones television series,
Yes, yes,
and it focuses on the Targaryens.
yes. And just to be just to be upfront, uh, there will be spoilers in this. So if you have not seen episode 1, because we're only going to do episode 1 today, episode 1 of House of the Dragon. If you have not seen episode 1 of House of the Dragon and you don't want to be spoiled, uh, click
Go watch
away
it,
now. Yeah, go watch it and then come back.
then come back.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah, go watch it, come back. But yes. So, episode 1, House of the Dragon,
Yes.
Targaryen prequel.
Yes, Targaryen prequel, um, starring Matt Smith, my favorite of the modern Doctor Who,
Ah, yeah, okay.
and
Wait, and
the
I
best
like
thing
Matt
about the
Smith.
show. In fact, I think he was the best thing about the show. So go ahead, Dan. What did you
Okay.
think?
So, ah, I have not been so bored for what seemed like an hour and a half of my life as I was watching this show. I didn't feel like I was connected to any of these characters right off. I didn't feel like any of it has any agency. The only reason I think they got Matt Smith to do what he did is they promised him that in the first episode, he would get to number one, cut some dude's dick off, and number two, have butt sex with some skinny chick. And Matt Smith said, sign me up and give me all the jelly bellies. And that's the way it worked. Because, oh my God. I watched it and I was just like, and I was kind of excited for Matt Smith because I too really like Matt Smith. I think he was excellent as the Doctor. I've seen him in other things and he's an excellent actor. But as this particular and I'm just gonna put it out there, he's the bad guy in this. He's gonna be the bad guy from whatever point of view.
I mean, Game
It
of Thrones,
it
bad guy is.
yeah.
It's hard to say at this point.
I just don't think it works. I don't think the show was well written.
Okay.
And I think the worst part is that it's a prequel. Okay? So, one, it's a prequel. We may not know what happens by the end of whatever, how many 10, 14 episodes they're going to have. We may not know how it's going to end in this first season, but we know where it leads, number one. And number two, any really, really big Game of Thrones nerds out there who have read the books or who are like super into like the Game of Thrones wiki and like really dive deep into this,
Hmm.
all they have to do is pull up the Targaryen chart, their lineage chart. Oh,
To know who
we
who
so yes,
lives, who dies,
yeah,
what happens.
we
There's
know
like
who lives,
there's
we
already
know who
spoilers,
yeah,
right?
it's already there. So, yeah, it's I mean, that was my impression. Also, it seems like we're going to follow the little girl or both little girls for this. And I mean, if it were written better, maybe, but I just didn't feel engaged with any of the characters. The one character that I thought did the best job was the king, was the current guy who's on the Iron Throne who just
Okay.
lost his wife and
You
you
thought
know,
he was the best?
I thought that he was the most realistic king that we've gotten in a long time. That
Okay.
because he really loved his wife, he's grieving, he got pissed off at the brother, he made the decisions that he made, and I kind of think that
Okay, well let's
yeah.
talk about it.
Okay, so go ahead. Yeah. So,
So
what about you
the
though? What? Well,
well,
let.
well let's talk about the episode a little bit
Okay.
because
All right.
we kind of talked about your opinion of it, but we haven't
Mm-hmm.
really talked about what
Okay.
happened in the
Okay.
episode. So the king needs a male heir,
Yes.
right? And his wife, the queen, is pregnant,
Is very pregnant. Yes.
and he believes that it's going to be a boy and that they're going to have
Mm-hmm.
this male heir.
Right.
But she has had stillbirths and miscarriages in the past
Yes.
and
Multiple complications. The only
multiple
child that
complications.
yeah, the only child that survived is what is her name? Lee
Uh,
something
I don't know.
that
The
I can't
daughter.
even
Yeah.
the daughter because it was not as it was so memorable that I don't remember her name
I
at
think my
all.
problem with Game of Thrones, at least in the beginning, even the other one, is that
Hmm.
it's gonna take a while. Like they throw a ton of characters at you, and
This
it's
is
gonna
true.
take a while
Yeah.
to figure out the names. But the princess
The
essentially
princess, right. Hmm.
is the kind of his only
Child, yes.
child, and of course you have his brother, who is Matt Smith's character.
Hmm.
He's a male, and he is also kind of in succession if the king doesn't produce a male heir. And
Right.
then you have the
It's his
uh
it's his sister who is another princess.
his sister, who is another princess, and they have he she is married and has
Two
children and
children.
has a male
Yes.
child. So they have a
Yes.
male and female child.
Hmm.
So it's the kind of the idea in the show is where's the succession gonna go? Who's gonna be king? And then of course there's a complication with the birth. It
Yes.
is a male child, but
Hmm.
they have to perform like this crude C-section, which
Hmm.
kills the queen, but also the baby doesn't survive,
No, it does not.
right? And that's what kind of what happens mostly in the
Hmm.
show. And then you have Matt Smith's character, the prince, the king's brother. He comes in, uh tries to make a showing of cleaning up the town with this new royal guard basically that
Mhm.
comes in and just like totally just kicks ass and just,
Yeah.
you know, goes hardcore, torturing criminals in the street and stuff.
Basically, yes.
And then he kind of does whatever he wants. He rents out a brothel for
Yeah.
his soldiers and all kinds of things. And the council doesn't think that he's fit to be king. And of course, in the end, the king names the princess his daughter.
Right, because there was a slight that happened at the brothel by the brother, and that
Hmm.
which is the whole thing. So the brother may we don't see it on screen, but there is a slight that is made. Uh, they the brother calls the stillborn baby like the heir of the hour,
Oh yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. Or
heir
air for an
for an hour,
hour
or
or
something like that,
something like that. Yeah, yeah.
which pisses
That's
off
right.
the current king, and he sends him away,
Mhm.
and and then he names the princess and tells the princess that secret, the secret that
Mhm.
we all know already
Mhm.
about the winter, which is winter is coming.
Of course.
So so we all know about that. And then did you happen to watch the after the bit after where it said coming this season, where it showed all the clips of things that from probably the next several episodes?
Probably. I don't
Well,
even remember if I did. Oh
oh
my
gosh.
gosh.
So I watched it, okay?
Okay.
And this is why I think that if we are Oh, and by the way, Garrett is in the chat. Hey Garrett, how you doing? Um
What's up, man?
this is why I think that if we decide to watch this all the way through, we're at least me, I'm going to be bored as hell, because guess what they're going to do for this series? The Targaryen family is going to break apart, and everybody's going to be vying for the Iron Throne,
Of
because
course.
because they can't think of anything else to do.
So I was kind of bored,
Mhm.
but I will confess that I was actually kind of bored for the first two episodes of the original Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I don't think I really got sucked in until the third episode of
Well,
actual Game of Thrones.
let me ask you this, because I don't know, I can't remember your experience with it. So for regular Game of Thrones, did you start
Mhm.
watching at the very beginning of the series?
No, no. It was already several seasons in before I started watching, I
Okay.
think. It
That
was
was
a
the same
couple
with me.
seasons in.
I think I started I was like in the third season, and I had to burn through like 2.5 seasons before I got caught up.
I think it might have been the second season, maybe. But oh, it was, yeah. I
Okay.
I burned through maybe like two seasons, but it was already starting to become a little bit of a phenomenon, which is why
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
hung in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I'll say that I did basically enjoy it. It was kind of boring. I I liked most of the acting. I thought Matt Smith did a good job. I
Okay.
thought the guy that played High Tower. Wait,
Hightower is a guy
from
from
Police
from
Academy.
Police Academy.
Wait, what is that? Otto something Tower. The king, the hand of the king.
Okay. All
That
right.
guy. He's
Hmm.
why am I thinking High Tower?
I don't know. I think
It's
maybe because he's from the high. Is he from Hightower?
maybe he's got a similar last name to that. But anyway,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought that guy was good. I actually thought that the girl was good, the princess.
Hmm.
I liked her. I thought the acting was solid. Um, I don't know. It could be really boring. It could
I
be.
yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna end up watching the whole thing anyway
okay,
because she watched it and she liked it, as far as I
okay.
could tell. They thought she generally was interested in it.
Mhm,
So, and that's like kind of a normie perspective. So
mhm,
I'm gonna continue to watch it because we're watching it together.
mhm. I just want to point out that one, she is Steve's significant other,
Yeah.
and two, Steve just called her a normie on Twitch and YouTube. So
I
just,
mean,
oh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, but yeah.
she
Anyway,
basically
anyway,
is.
yeah. So
Like
I
she's not a
guess,
big nerd that's
yeah,
like digging into this stuff and gonna talk about it on
yeah.
YouTube like us. So
This is true. This
yeah,
is true. Yeah.
she's pretty much a normie. I feel like when we watch a show together, I get kind of a normie
Mhm.
like the perspective from her, but she liked it. I liked it for the most part. Like you said,
Mhm.
it was slow. I was a little
Yeah.
bit bored, but I'm gonna continue to watch it, and we'll see.
So
We'll
are
see what
we going
happens.
to are so that I know, do you want to do this every week? Do you want to
We'll
are
see
we
how bad the second episode is.
okay.
Let's watch it, and we'll
Okay.
talk to
We'll
see
make a
if it's
decision.
worth it or
Okay.
not. Yeah,
May,
to keep going.
maybe if it's maybe either way, maybe what we do is so that we're not becoming the House of the Dragon channel.
Hmm.
Maybe let's go maybe two, three, four. Maybe give it 2 or 3 episodes, and then do a review of like you know do a review of those
Yeah.
episodes or whatnot. Maybe we can do something like that.
Well, we'll
Um,
see.
yeah,
We'll see about
but
that.
yeah, I don't know. I don't have high hopes for the show. Um, I think, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, this is on HBO Max. This is this is one of those things that Zaslav really, really, really wants to uh to kind of catapult HBO Max back to well, not back to, but up into like the top tier. And I I think the first couple episodes are gonna get watched heavily just because it is Game of Thrones. But I think that a lot of people have a bad taste in their mouth because of the way that Benioff and Wise ended actual Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah.
George R. R. Martin is leaving a bad taste in people's mouths because he can't fucking finish a book.
True, true. But people are starved for content, especially on
Hmm.
HBO Max. People are paying for that subscription, so I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are going to watch, and it's going to have to get real bad for people to like tune out. I think it's good enough right now that like a ton of people are going to
Oh,
watch.
I think
I,
it's good. I think it's
and
good enough for that people are gonna watch right now. But I don't know. I have this feeling that this is not seasons 2 through 5 of Game of Thrones. It
it's
just doesn't.
probably not. It's
It's just,
probably
and it's
not.
never gonna
But
be. It's
no, of
never gonna
course not.
be.
You can't
Yeah.
recapture that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to say. So what do
Hmm.
you think? It just this first episode. You think what's your score?
My score.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
You know, yeah, however you want to give your score. It can be a number or like some thumbs or whatever, some star. What do you think?
I think that
This is not an official thing. I
this
just
is
want to
not
get
okay.
your
Okay.
idea of what you would rate it.
I would rate this as I would rate this as a
Just
Stark at the Red Wedding.
just top of your head.
That's what I would rate it.
Okay.
I would rate it as
So you th
being a
so
Stark at a Red
I mean, what
Wedding.
does that mean though? Because like that to me that sounds like one of the worst shows ever. But I didn't see that. That's what
Uh,
I'm trying to get. Like what just this first episode, like
eh,
your honest opinion. Was it really that bad? Like
no,
did
I
you
guess
hate
maybe
it so
not.
much like a Stark
No,
at the Red Wedding? Like you
no,
hated it that
no,
much?
no. I maybe not. So
So what
I
is
was
it?
bored. It was boring. So maybe
Okay.
I will rate this a 5 out of 10 because it was just
Okay. All right.
because because it wasn't boring. It was boring. It wasn't super engaging.
Mhm.
And if I weren't doing a pop culture uh YouTube, if I weren't a pop culture YouTube guy, I probably wouldn't tune in again, but because
Mhm.
I'm a pop culture YouTube guy, I'm gonna tune in again. We're gonna see
Gotcha.
how this goes.
I
Yeah.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
I'll give it a C.
All right.
It
A
was
C.
it was a solid effort.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was kind of
What?
boring, but
What did you think of the CGI? What did you think of our CGI dragons?
it was all right. It was
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I mean I wasn't bad. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was all right. No
Yeah.
problems. No problems from me in that department. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue with the show is that there's a prequel issue and also
Yeah.
that like the Targaryens are supposed to be kind of a certain way and I feel like if you portrayed them in that way in the show, nobody would be likable and it would be difficult to have a show that worked that way because
Well,
the
I'm already
Targaryens are.
kind of thinking that this show is nobody to me already that is living up
I
to
mean,
that
you don't think the king
expectation.
is likable,
Yeah,
kind of,
the king is kind of likable,
and you don't think
but
that the daughter is at least kind of likable. Here's what I'm saying: is the Targaryens they're supposed to be this like super like we're like racial purity like I mean
that's true.
they're
Yes.
like they're essentially I mean they're
They're
like
Aryans. Yeah.
madness. They're like Aryans. They're
Hmm.
like supposed to be all inbred and stuff. And
This is
if you
true.
like
Yeah.
legitimately made them how they were supposed to be, how like,
Oh,
they've
it'd be
kind of been,
yeah.
yeah, it would be
They
nobody
would
in the
be on
show
a
would be
yeah.
likable. So I think
It would
that's
be
the
an
problem
unwatchable
is
show.
that like
Yeah.
you almost have to watch it in a vacuum
Hmm.
from, and that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just like, I'll watch it for what it is, and
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
I did notice a lot of member berries
Yeah, and
all
I mean,
sprinkled throughout the
hopefully,
show. Remember this place? Remember
yeah.
this? Remember that?
Hmm.
I the one thing I did kind of like is I liked the way that they did the Iron Throne itself
Hmm.
because when we in actual Game of Thrones there were less swords
Mhm.
in that Iron Throne for some reason. I don't think we ever got an
Mhm.
explanation, but it seemed
Yeah.
like there were many more swords in the throne and then going down the steps of the throne. There seemed to be a lot more of that. And I actually I did like the look of that. I thought the look of that was kind of cool. So there.
Cool.
So
Well,
we'll end there. I'll end my criticism on I liked the
uh,
way the throne looked.
that's cool. All right. Well, yeah, I think that's probably it for today.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We kind of went long on Game of Thrones and I'm running out of time here, so I need to go get ready for my big date.
Oh yeah, he's got a big day tonight. So yeah, which
So,
which we'll probably just which we may or may not discuss on Tuesday night
no.
when we all six get together for Up and Away, our Dungeons and Dragons adventure, which is happening in space.
Mhm.
And right now the party is split. Some people are on a planet, some people are on the ship.
Well, in fact, we're pretty much following the people on the planet
Oh
for
yeah,
probably for a while. So
possibly
it'll be
so.
some action
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
be there 7:30 right here on Twitch Tuesdays Eastern Standard Time. Join
Yeah,
us.
yeah. And
Uh,
yeah. So, if you like that kind of stuff, tune in. We're we put that on YouTube the day after, so
mhm.
yeah, tune into YouTube if you're not a Twitcher. But yeah, Twitcher, is that a word? It is now.
I don't
I
think so.
just made it
No,
up.
it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
It's not. It
I'm
is
just gonna
not.
call them Twitchers
No.
from here on out.
No. You're foolish. It's not gonna
Twitchies?
work.
Twitchies?
No.
Oh,
Boomer.
I guess so.
All
All right.
right. Well, that's the show. Thanks for coming,
See you
and good
later.
night.
Have a good one.
Hey there, this is Garrett from Dicks in the Dark. Check out our live stream every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't worry about missing a stream, the VODs are uploaded to the YouTube channel the following day. Check out the links in the description below.